Hey, Tom here, FlipAnything USA. So today I was going to talk about how good landlords repurpose. I actually haven't been on here for a few days because I've been busy doing exactly what I'm about to talk about. Sometimes I've got roughly 185,000 square feet of rentals, primarily commercial, industrial, and office. A little bit of residential, not that much anymore. I mean, maybe 12 houses, something like that. I've had apartment buildings, all kinds of stuff. But anyways, today I'm going to talk to you guys about repurposing, and I'm going to show you something you guys really should know about. These are really cool. These are these new containers that I got here. Anybody got any questions, just it's in the chat or put it in below, and be right back. It's the best thing I ever did. All right, so I'm kind of excited about these containers, but I want to explain to you why exactly. Now these are containers, everybody's seen them, right? But these ones in particular are kind of special. Now take a look at this. This is 4 doors on one side. This is a 20-foot container, a 20-foot container. But basically, it completely opens on 2 sides. It opens on one end, like you see here, so I can zoom in on that. See that? That's a pair of doors on the end, and then you've got 4 more on the side here. And the reason that's so crucial is because when you get a container, if all you have is end access on the very end, then what happens is that you end up having to create a hallway down the middle of it or one side of it, and then you end up robbing yourself of most of the use of the container. Now this is a brand new containers. You can buy containers, anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 a piece. The ones that have single access on the end. These ones I paid like $9,000 for, which they're brand new. In other words, one trip from China, they were filled with something on the way there, on the way here, emptied out, and then sold like this as a one-use container, only one trip across the sea. That's why it looks so good. But it's well worth it. And so, anybody got any questions on this? But I want to show you, to give you a little bit of, I used to keep a lot of stuff in a warehouse. Pretty soon that warehouse, started becoming worth $1.50 a foot, and it was no longer a place to throw your junk, okay, or collect stuff. So that's where, even though these cost more per foot than most buildings, they're portable, right? And they're airtight. No rats can get in these things or anything else. But I want to give you an example of how much, hundreds of thousands of dollars you can put in, just a few of these things, and why. And why exactly how they use, so take a look at this. This is open from the side. That's just 2 of the doors. But when you look inside this thing, you'll see that I've got, this is just one container. I've actually got, I've got 2 in this particular location, but then I've got another, like a big garage about twice the size of this. But so look, you see there's 3 shop vacs, there's a fan there. Actually, there's 4 shop vacs. Listen, when you have as many rentals as I have, there's times when somebody has a flood, if there's some sort of a, water break inside, you get as much help over there as quickly as possible, get the tenants dried out. Like you can see, this is actually this container. There's a scaffold right here, right? Scaffolding. We've got chainsaws. We've got other cutting saws that require gas. You see fuel here. And then let me see what else I can show you here. Now take a look at just at the end of this. Now this thing's 20 feet long. Now I just pulled out from one of the rentals that I bought. I needed some redwood, and I knew that I'd stash some in here. Well, these were over 16 feet long, and I had a little job that I needed, basically, for kind of an improvement. And I thought, you know what? I was about to order it, and it had been probably, I don't know, it had been at least $2,500 worth of material, and it filled this little area you see right here. Anyways, I pulled that down, and it took care of it, right? So saved $2,500 by hanging on to something for a little while. But it gets far greater than that. Now look inside here. This looks like just a sliding glass door here. But there's other materials in here. Sheets of plywood are worth, 40, $50 now. Sometimes you have a broken window. We're in the day and age where stuff gets broken all the time. Thieves and, just vandals. So it's good to have plywood to go board windows up or, just various things. But you can't really see inside this one. Maybe I can get you a better picture. Yeah, let's look in here. Yeah, look. So look, you can see that glass looks like it's broken, but it's not. But there's glass. I mean, there's probably a couple grand worth of glass in here. Fans, there's another big fan. If you look deep in here, you'll see these are commercial doors. This is a whole row of commercial doors back here. Probably $15,000 with a door. Every door with a lock set and a jamb is worth about $900 now. It adds up. And the thing is sometimes you have a tenant that wants to make one room into two or two rooms into one, so you got to remove a door. You hang on to that stuff, but you got to have a practical place to put the stuff and you got to remember that it's there. You want to keep an inventory of it and that sort of thing, so that you don't have. Here's another container, and you can see these are so close you can barely tell, but these are portable air conditioners, right? I think I've got 4 or 5 of these. I see 5 right here, or 4 anyways, and. These are, if somebody's AC goes out, you got to get your tenants cool. And sometimes they're heaters. You got to get your tenants warm. All this stuff is super important. Hey, Russ. Hey, Chris. Maybe some solar motion lights for the outside up top. Yeah, it's a good idea. The solar technology has come a long way. I actually really like the solar lights. I've been dropping them everywhere, in my own personal yard and other properties, because it's just nice because it pops on. Russ wrote, I got the 40-foot high cube containers for about, but that's only single access on one end, Russ. You can get the 40-footers too that have multiple doors on the side. That'd be something to see, an 8-door container on the side. Run wiring, interior, cheap and good. Yeah. I mean, I don't even care about powering them up particularly at the moment, but it's just having a place to, an inexpensive place to store a lot of important stuff. I call it my little FEMA. Oh, hey, Pen wrote, your book was great. Yeah, thanks. Yep, thanks for reminding me. I need to plug the book. So listen, if you just got here, please get my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. It's been a bestseller on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. I'll even read it to you on Audible. I think you can read several chapters for free, or just get it. Listen, you can get your money back if you don't like it. And believe me, the book is worth more than many of the courses that are out there. So, look, I want to point you to, take a brief break and I'll be right back. You want to learn how to make millions of dollars in real estate? I've made tens of millions over my lifetime, and I'm showing people how to do it. Get in my free webinar. I have it every Thursday, 7 p.m. Central. Go to the link below, FlipAnythingUSA.com/webinar. Sign up for it. You can talk to me face-to-face if you want. Don't waste any time. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. You don't want to miss my channel. I've been doing it for years. Anyways, by the way, that little promo, that little patio is done now, and it actually came out beautiful. There will be some sort of a awning for sure, just to, because sometimes you got to access stuff and you pull in under your pickup and you want to be dry when you're loading your truck or your van or whatever, with this sort of thing. Then you've got your outside areas, right? You got your outside areas. This is the kind of shelving you'd see like in a Home Depot or that sort of thing. You can put pallets actually on these. This isn't exactly organized, but you can see there's, these are just sink hoses, right? For toilets and sinks, and there's actually probably 10 faucets in there. And I don't know that I'd ever use the faucets again, but there's shelving. Sometimes the tenants leave stuff and you say, here, then next tenant needs it, you can leave it there for them. And you don't even care if they take it with them when they leave, to be honest. There's another air conditioner there. I'll even look at this. I want you to take a look at this. Pallets, right? This is brick palletized. There's some wood. There's an air conditioner. See that? There's an AC, perfectly good AC, sitting there waiting to be used. That one's actually a 223 phase, so it's kind of special. But all this stuff has value and can be reused again. And listen, ACs. I'm spending 7-8 grand now just for a replacement ACs for a home. For a commercial, they're 10-12,000 if it's a 4-ton or 5-ton unit. But even rock. So look at this. This is even rock palletized. Actually, you can see here. Look at this. Look at this natural rock wall. It's actually pretty cool. This is dry stack, by the way. But this is pavers, right? Paved stones. All that stuff. If you got a place to stow it, and I do, you want to have stuff like that. This is kind of like standard equipment for me. This is a Genie, scissor lift, and these are great. I mean, inside a warehouse, if I need to replace the bulbs, I send the guys down there. They pop this on the trailer, unload it, zip around. It's only 24 inches wide, so it fits through the aisles of big, my tenants' warehousing, shelving, and we can still get up there and replace bulbs. Change out a whole warehouse with this thing. It was beautiful and easy. Installed suspended ceilings. This kind of equipment is really, and even exterior, as long as you got a flat surface, because these things can get a little tilty, right, if they're up 30 feet high. But they, for cleaning out the gutters on some two-story buildings, and or changing lights on two-story buildings, or just getting on the roof. This is the kind of thing that is really a nice thing to have. Anyways, anybody got any questions on real estate, just fire away. I'd be happy to answer anything I can. I've owned just about every kind of property, commercial buildings, industrial buildings, offices, flex spaces, land, lots, many lots. I bought and sold many vacant lots. And developable properties. I've subdivided properties. I've rezoned properties. I've been through eminent domain. I've fought the cities, multiple lawsuits with cities, eminent domain included. So you got a question, I'm game. Anybody has something, I'd be happy to answer. Also, a little bobcat. I've had backhoes before too. Kind of tired of the oh, hey, Christopher. The mentorship meetings are every Saturday. I don't think I've seen you here lately. But yeah, every Saturday, 10 a.m. Sometimes 9 a.m. Last week's was 10 a.m. But yeah, so if you're, and thanks for reminding me. If you're interested in being mentored by me, I've already got several millionaires, people that made $1 million since, being under my, my mentorship. And just fantastic success stories. In fact, two of the guys are in here right now, Chris and Chris retired, quit his job, and is now full-time investor. And Russ actually been in real estate already, but now he's kind of on steroids. He just made probably $1 million on the last deal he bought. Which, congrats again, Russ. I'm excited for you on that. Nice commercial building. But other gentlemen, this gentleman here, he's made over $1 million, $600,000 when I interviewed him, but he made double that since. And then this gentleman made about $3 million, Ron. He's been a really cool inspiration to everybody. And Liam, same thing, $500,000 between a couple of deals. And we're talking about realized cash. This gentleman here thinks maybe a couple $1 million, and I forget what he says here. Let's see.
Hey, let's sign this $1 million deal. I've never, done this in my life. I was like freaking out, and after reading Tom's book and being involved in his mentorship, I've been able to make a couple $100,000 on a house, another couple $100,000 on another house, and what I estimate is up in excess of $1 million in equity on a commercial building that I bought. So
yeah, in fact, that was a building that you see behind me. Bought a second one after that. So just really great success. And Kai here, same thing. I have more testimonials than I have time to even put on there. But just so you guys know, that's out there. If you do want to get in there, there's no acceptance. There's no automatic. You don't get in. You can't just pay and get in. You have to be approved. So you do have to take the mentorship survey. See right here, up here at the top here, the mentorship survey. Click on that and just fill out this short form, and I will tell you if I'll let you in the class or not. I'll have a conversation with you. I have just the best and brightest in my class, and you probably could be one of them and not even know it. Believe me, a lot of people have great skill and great study great, just have a very good mindset and a good discipline and good, just good smarts for discerning bullshit from real. Just like they know that I'm real, they can see who's full of bull. But anyways, and then the webinar, you can also get into the webinar too, which I urge you to do that. You can talk to me live, and I'll show you my 40-year history of success. That's always kind of interesting to people. So what else? Anybody wanted to look at something? Russ, anything? Somebody, let's see, AN580 just got the audiobook and the best part for free. Oh, awesome. I appreciate it. If you get the audiobook, I kind of, as you know, I go off chapters and I tell stories about stuff that's not in the book. Also, if you get the Kindle, there's also some advantage because you can click and go directly to video links that are pertinent to those kinds of deals. I've been negotiating like crazy my whole life. Negotiate. That's one of the key things about mentorship that helps people the best is having somebody in your corner that can help you negotiate, write letters, write offers, that sort of thing. And there's just here, I might as well just show you. Let's just go to the mentorship. Let me show you. When you get inside, you get to the members area. And I know we're kind of getting off track here a little bit, but for those of you that are interested, you go in here, you get in the course, and you can't even cheat on the course. See this? This is a meter. I know whether you have to go through the full 28 hours here, and then after that 28 hours, there's more than 300 hours of live meetings right in here, and each of these are 3 to 5 hours. And so there's just so much data to consume. People say it's like being fed from a fire hydrant. But you know what? It makes you smart. And even if you hear it and you don't utilize it, it'll help you that when you do run into it, you'll be able to contact me and be on the phone with me. And I don't mean like one of my cronies, one of my salesmen. I don't have any salesmen. You'll be able to talk to me when you do get in a jam. And believe me, that's what's really important is having somebody, having a mentor. It's a mentorship. It's not I'm not going to throw you to, some sales guy that's going to point you to a chapter that doesn't know anything about real estate, which is kind of the case for a lot of the guys out there. Anyways, back to what it's the happy hour, right? Or it's whatever you guys want to look at, we can look at. Russ just wrote, just checked a fixer upper 14 offers. Wow. 14 offers, multiple above asking, over 50K asking. So 50,000 over the asking price. Market looks like it might be turning back. God, I don't see how, Russ. So this is interesting. Russ is actually in Portland area, which, I'm not knocking Portland, but there's probably, that's probably one of the toughest places to be a landlord in some neighborhoods because it is so rough. And, you got the nasty crowd that like to set fires and trash properties and crap in the streets. Sorry, but we got some of that here too. I hate to say it, but that's interesting, Russ. Listen, a lot of people. Listen, we're definitely heading. People are experiencing very difficult times already. Even Ben Malla. Ben Malla's got $500,000 a month more going out in mortgages because he didn't get his mortgages fixed, and. For somebody else, it's $500 more a month that they can't afford, or $5,000 more a month that they really, can't necessarily afford. And it changes your lifestyle. Even Ben, he's a rich guy, but he's crying the blues. He did a great little, in fact, I did a video on his video, just about how the adjustable rates and how they can, and the catch-22 with, deferring property. You can't liquidate because, you'll have to give up, almost 40% of your money if you depreciate it to zero. So you take in his case, he's talking about 100 million, but if he sells 100 million and he's depreciated down to zero, he's only got 60 million. And now it's not worth paying off because the 60 million, after paying 40 million in taxes, maybe it's just better to take your lumps and pay the extra interest on the new money that you get. But yeah, I've been perusing, LoopNet and the different sources that I use for commercial, and of course, Google Earth. I look at some things, but most stuff I keep pretty close. But right now is a great time to do housekeeping. And Chris, You should get in the meetings if you can. All members should get in the meetings. But here's the beauty: if you're in my mentorship, even if you don't get in the meeting, that's okay. You can come back and watch it. And in fact, there's some advantage to coming back and watching, and that is that you can kind of watch it at a higher speed. I watch a lot of videos at high speed. It's just easier to consume. If somebody talks slow, you can watch it and run it through much quicker and consume it faster. Let's see. Was thinking about a trailer for storage or a trailer. I think he's saying trailer. Don's talking about a trailer. Yeah, well, you can move it anywhere and park it anywhere. That's not a bad idea. But look, there's those of you that are just still, there's people. Look, I just did I shouldn't even mention it. There's always opportunities in real estate, and the last thing you want to do is get in a fund, especially if it's somebody that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. And really, that's most of them that I've seen. I haven't seen any funds that are really worthwhile. But but take care of the properties that you got, or if you want to buy, don't throw in with somebody else. Why would you want to put in all the money necessary to buy a property and only get half the profit, and then not have any control, not even have the ability? When you throw into a fund, you don't have the ability to borrow against that fund. The bank's going to laugh at you. They're not going to loan you any money against a fund, that you're invested in. But there's always opportunities, and sometimes you just got to be very patient. Just in this shot right here, I own tens of millions of property of dollars that are within this shot, maybe 20, 30 million, roughly right here, and even more. That's outside this area. I was just thinking about it. It's funny because the richer you get, the more time you spend, just kind of beating back the people that are trying to nibble at you, and that can come in different forms. Sometimes you feel like an octopus, and you got tentacles out there, and somebody's always chewing on one of them. It can be the tax man, it can be the property tax assessor. I've been to sued counties for overcharging me, and these are the kind of hassles. They're good problems to have, I suppose, but they're still a pain in the ass. But you got to stay on top of it. Refine. I refined everything that I had, everything new that I bought for the last several years. I bought in a fixed rate. Told all my students to do the same. That's been very helpful to a lot of the students. They've got fixed rates. They're not getting hurt like Ben is getting hurt. But part of that is because I started in interest rates that were coming down from 15, 16%. So that sting you never forget that sting of that. And so when I've been laughing at YouTubers for the last 10 years that have been saying, oh no, the rates will never go that high. And, guys that have never even seen high rates making statements like that. It's just foolish. And you can see Ryan Pineda's, he started a fund, bought a multifamily building, and now he's telling people that basically he made a mistake, that he was wrong. And now he wants people to throw in and buy houses with him, which is really silly. You throw in with somebody that says they made a mistake buying multifamily that you threw in with, and they're saying, now I'm going to do this. You'd be following a long chain of mistakes. It's just silly. But again, there's just no experience there. You got to demand experience. When somebody tells you, you got to question why. You know what? Everybody knows. You can tell me whatever you want to tell me. They know that when I'm looking at you, you're not going to get any look that I believe a word you're saying, because I'm taking it in. I'm listening to you. But a lot of people kind of just go off into the clouds. They start, it's like I don't know. It's like you got to snap to come out of it. These are words. These aren't facts. And that's what you get from me. Nothing but honesty. Because listen, that's what my legacy is going to be. Is just helping people make money. And I especially like helping dads like myself that have kids, want to put them through college and everything else. Good. Herbert's in here. Yeah, Herbert's a great guy out of New York. Also made over $100,000 since being in the mentorship. Also a real estate agent. While markets are local, not all markets are doing well. Yep. Last week I received the first list of foreclosure properties. I haven't seen a list in over 7 years. Wow, that's fantastic. That's interesting. So yeah, Herb's in New York, and so look at, it's true. As the video I did I think it was yesterday or earlier today, I was saying not all markets are the same, or all cities are the same. There's people that are fleeing New York to move to Texas, Nevada, and I think this Idaho tax-free state. I can't remember, Idaho maybe, and but certainly Florida, and those numbers, their numbers are going up, and things are getting better, and so yeah. Gosh, dudes, I should file. You guys want to join a Zoom? I got so many people that are in the mentorship. Maybe you guys ought to jump in on a Zoom and we'll just talk about it. Tell me if you're game. I'll pull a link up and you guys can jump in. Anyways, but yeah, there is opportunities everywhere. And listen, like we've got two students in here, total different ends of the of the state. We've got of the USA. We've got Herbert in New York, and we've got Russ in Portland, and you got Chris in the middle with me. And it's like hot, medium, and cold, right? But it's different everywhere. Yeah, I understand. Cooking dinner, I got you. That's okay. I probably be having dinner myself here before long. But yeah. So Herb, what do you attribute the problems to? Do you think it's people fleeing your state because the taxes are so high? I know California, they got a $20 billion deficit. Can you believe that? It's just that's why I left California 30 years ago. Such a dump, just a terrible place, terribly run state. It has been for many, many years. The unfunded mandates, I don't know what these people are going to retire on. I really don't. And I'm talking about everybody that works there, that works for the state. But hey, please hit that subscribe button before you guys get away. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It helps the channel, and I'd appreciate it. Yeah, let's see. So Herb says the list is from all U.S., not just New York. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. And there's 7,000 foreclosures. Is that what you said? Did you notice it? Is there a lot in your particular area? Which I guess Pace Morby was probably this, from what he describes, he'll be thriving on the foreclosures. I don't agree, but he looks at the people being upside down on their mortgages as something to jump into. And I'm not saying that you can't make money when people are going down the tubes. I've made a lot of money on people that have gone bankrupt and lost everything to foolish investments and or drugs, disease, divorce. Depression. There's all kinds of reasons people fold and leave money on the table for others. But Herbert wrote, I have about 5 to 6 properties from about 15 different states. Oh. And you certainly have more foreclosures than that. Just locally, you've got more, many times that. That's interesting. Listen, I'll show you. I'll show you a property. I'll show you a property that's been foreclosed on. And this is one I made about $1.5 million on. I can't remember the address. So take a look at this. I actually own 3 apartment buildings on this street, and I made a couple $1 million between the 3 of them. But let me tell you the kind of times that we're heading into that I would expect to see more of this type of thing. This is a building. This is like almost 20,000 square feet. It's an apartment building, 21 units, 900 square feet apiece. Has a laundromat, which I made quite a bit of money on the laundromat too. I was making about $50 per tenant per month. Yeah, thanks, Herb. What else? Anybody else got anything to report? But yeah, these kinds of deals happen. But this property here, this one, and this one across the street, I bought this building, and this building. Like I said, I made a couple $1 million over a period of a couple of years. These are just these are 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartments, and then this was a mix of 2-1s and 1-1s, and they could be very profitable if you buy them right. But this property, this one had gone back to the bank with a million one owed on it, and then that guy bought it, and then it went back to the bank again. He went belly up, 750. Same thing happened again. That guy went belly up, went back to the bank again at 550, and then that guy went belly up, and then I came along and I bought it for 340,000, 340. And when I sold it, I sold them both together for somewhere around $1.8 million. So I made about $1.5 million just on these two buildings together. And you know, who watching couldn't afford to pay $210,000 for a building? And you know what I mean? And then this thing, even back, I mean, this thing cost more than $1 million to build when it was built back in 1970. I think that's about the age of it. But yeah, there's opportunities coming, and you know that's what I call stair step recession. It's like things get bad, and then everybody thinks, oh, things are going to be okay. Like Russ is reporting, things seem like they're getting better. People are, you know, maybe the market's coming back. But while that's going on, there's, you know, Herb's looking at a foreclosure list, and then people get in, interest rate goes up, the values go up, drop up from under them, they're upside down on their property, and so it stair steps and gets worse and worse for many people, because each time they think it's a recovery, but it's not, and then it drops. And then they think it's a recovery, but it's not, and then it drops. And you know, I don't even see anybody talking about it, but it's something I lived through. I watched it happen. I made money during that time. I made money every year for the last 41 years that I've been investing in real estate. And some guys say, I did 500 deals, and they're full of crap. I know they haven't, especially when they're under 30 years old, and saying they've done a deal is kind of silly, but I'm talking about, I have purchased over 200 properties, and I've sold most of them, and bought other properties. But what I've held on to is, I've got about 185,000 square feet, and I regularly turn maybe 20 to 30,000 square feet a year to flip, because that's why it's called Flip Anything. There's a lot of money to be made in flipping, and that just simply means buying and reselling. You don't buy anything unless it's worth more. Hey, please hit that like button, and if you would, that also helps channel, and put some comments in under the video if you get a chance. That's always helpful. Anything you want to cover or talk about, I'm always game. Anyways, if anybody's got a question, fire away. If you want to look at something, I'll jump around on Google Earth. If you got a property or an area you want to look at, God, where was I looking at? Yeah, I got to show you something. I'll show you something. Let me show you something. The only reason I mention this is so I want you to look at this street. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, this is. So look at this. Look at this. This is, and I'm not criticizing the street. This is what industrial property looks like from the sky, right? Pallets of stuff, raw materials, get delivered, come in the door, get fabricated into some finished product and go back out the door. I love manufacturing. I've owned manufacturing companies. I still actually own one. I'm going to sell that company, by the way. If anybody's interested in I'll let the brokers take care of that one. Anyways, I do have another company for sale. But, this is like a fence company. This is probably lots of cedar and for fencing and that sort of thing. And let's go down to the street here, and then I'm going to show you something else. So what I noticed is, and this is in a decent area. This is Austin, Texas, and but these little buildings that sometimes don't look like much, a little metal building like this. These things are renting for, $150 a foot now. It's crazy. If there's a little mobile mini like I talked about that I just bought. To be honest, our country gets in more trouble all the time because we lose our manufacturing to China all the time, because it's pretty unfair the way the taxes are. And believe me, I know. I've seen products copied in China, and then put up for sale, and then I'm competing with somebody on a product that I designed. They just copied it. It's very It's very frustrating. But anyways, so these are industrial properties. Listen, this stuff is gold. People think, oh, it looks like a junkyard. Oh, it's scared. Some people don't like big warehouses. I love big warehouses. I'm afraid to have one tenant. Listen, one tenant, no problem, because a lot of those one tenant guys, they're part of a multi-billion-dollar corporation that rent warehouse across the country. So don't be afraid of single-tenant buildings, big buildings. And most warehouses are single-tenant, because they can be. But if anybody's got something else you want to pop over and look at. But one of the things I was going to, is tell you is, so I was in this area, and I had to jump over to the freeway here, and, oh, man. But what I saw was, several fast food places that were closed since the pandemic. I seen a homeless guy pull his pants down to his knees to check himself to see if he's wet or pooped himself, and as he's walking into a nice parking lot where a pretty blonde girl was, standing in horror as the guy was walking towards her, and there's a thing that Ben Mala was talking about called block busting. Interesting term. And it may be one he coined himself too. And I'm going to do a Think Sinister series here sometimes, because basically it was taking a block or a building and moving in undesirables. In fact, in this same area, by the way, which this area looks better from the sky than it does on the street, to be honest. It's very rough on this. Oh, no, that's the wrong street. I'm sorry. Let me get to a different freeway. Oh, yeah, no, this is the ugly part of town right over here. In fact, there might be a building. I can show you a building. Yeah, I'll show you an interesting building. I was looking at buying. But it's you move in undesirables on the street. So this is kind of interesting. This is a new overpass, right? See this? This is a new overpass right here. And I was actually looking at buying this building right down there. It's kind of half under the overpass. Had a big, beautiful sign. The sign got taken away. But here, in fact, watch this. I'm going to see if we can go down to the street. And when we go down to the street, you know what might happen? That overpass may disappear. No, overpass is there. They don't always update this, so sometimes you'll find where you can get a shot. Like, see how there's no place to stand on the street here? Well, that used to be the only. And there's no blue lines on the overpass itself. Yeah, let's check this out down here. Yeah, this is during the work. Yeah. Anyways. But yeah, warehouse. Don't be afraid of warehouse. Warehouse is gold, and this whole country is. Listen, there's warehouses that are filled with furniture by a virtual store that doesn't even exist. In other words, there is no showroom to walk in. Wayfair is a good example of that. Wayfair. I was looking at buying a 50,000 square foot Wayfair. Wayfair was the tenant, and all they did was make phone calls. That's it. It was just a 50,000 square foot of phones and people answering them and taking orders. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. We'll go live here again sometime, and Chris and Russ and Herbert and other students that are in here, Don. We got so many, and others. Listen, we'll go live here, and you folks that are watching, that are new, please hit that subscribe button and check out my book. You can get a copy of my book, Amazon, Audible, Kindle. It's been a bestseller again, and you'll learn a lot, and it won't cost you very much to do so. You get a lot of that on the channel here too. Like I said, I've been doing this 42 years, or 41, 42 years, whatever it's been, 42, I guess. Time flies, and as long as you keep your nose to the grindstone, before you know it, you'll be rich, and you'll have a lot of options, like I do, and a lot of other people that have been like me. We have a lot of options. You know, you got a lot of real estate, and you got a lot of rentals. You know, interest never sleeps if you carry notes, and guess what? Rent never sleeps. Rentals never sleep. Yet you got to pay that rent. Rent's accruing whether you're sleeping or awake. Interest is accruing whether you're asleep or awake. It's a fantastic thing, real estate, and there's just nothing else like it. And I hope you all get to enjoy a part of that before you, before your days are over. So, hey, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you again soon, I hope.